All right. I think we're good to get started. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. My nephew's trickling in to say hi. All right. I'm going to share my screen and then we would start the session. Can everybody see my screen? Can I get a heads up or a thumbs up? Something? All right. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, sweet. So, yeah, essentially, yeah, the goal of this is to help you, to arm you with the necessary tools and tips and toolkit essentially that you need to properly market yourself and build a LinkedIn presence that helps you to attract job offers. Okay, so that's essentially sort of the goal here. So I'm going to be hyper focused on like just ensuring that marketability and searchability of your LinkedIn profile, can truly be achieved, right? And that's the whole essence of this masterclass. A little bit about myself. So, as you may know already, my name is Pelumi Ogedengbe. I live close to the Toronto area. I live about 45 minutes west of Toronto here in Canada. I am married with a little boy who I love very much. He's just under 2 years old. I am a drummer. I play at churches, I play at concerts, different things really. Weddings, birthdays. Don't really like playing at burials, but sometimes I've had to. Um, I am a career coach. I am a mentor to many. I am one of the official coaches of an organization here called Skill Hat. And I've coached hundreds of people, hundreds. So doing this is something I do personally daily. I'm always meeting with people who specifically are trying to break into the tech industry. So I'm there to guide them right after they've completed a course or they just need guidance overall in their career, right? I do that for a ton of people. Last year I was able to place about 70 different people into the tech space, earning a minimum or really an average, or I guess lower, if you kind of think about the lower median of $80,000 and up to $150,000, right? Last year alone, and I've been doing this for a while. I have this in here. I did used to go to the gym, but I must confess I have fallen off track quite a bit. So I'm trying to get back into that. And then I am also a DIY enthusiast, right? Anybody who knows me, I love DIY. I've built some pretty cool stuff in my own personal home. So these are just some of my own personal interests. Outside of all of these things, I wanted to walk you guys through sort of my own journey and why I am choosing to essentially dabble into this, why I feel like I have something to offer to you guys, right? My career, I finished university in 2013. I came to Canada, did my master's. I finished my bachelor's in Nigeria, Covenant University. If any CU folks are, here, whoop whoop, you know what I'm saying? But essentially finished my master's in Covenant University. Sorry, my master's here in Canada, University of Windsor. And after that, I worked for about 2 years in the accounting space, right? And then I absolutely hated it. In that time, my dream honestly was to become an investment banker. Then I started working, I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely miserable here, right? I was seeing like the Excel spreadsheets with the numbers, and it was like a freaking matrix to me. Like some days at work, I was completely miserable. That's when I realized that, yeah, definitely I'm not working in line with the path that I should be working with, because I wasn't working in my bag. I wasn't working to my strengths. I was trying to make my weakness my strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not somebody to sit on a screen and stare at spreadsheets all day. This is me. Communicating is me. Convincing people, helping people buy into a thought, or to a school of thought is me, right? So that's really what I do. I'm sort of a negotiator in that sense, and I love solving problems logically. So accounting really was not giving me any of that. Neither was finance. So then I decided to make a career switch in 2017, right? And that's when I did a business analysis bootcamp. And after that, after applying to a number of jobs, I got my first role as a business analyst. Now, I want you to pay attention to something from 2018. If you notice here, and I try to make it visual as well, you can see LinkedIn, 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 LinkedIn. So since then, I've gotten 6 different jobs. So I apologize for that. I've gotten 6 different jobs now with 0 application. Like literally, I have not applied to any single one of these jobs, right? With 0 application. And from this point on, from my first BA role to this role, I have basically increased my income by nearly $200,000, right? With just LinkedIn, with having a strong LinkedIn presence, right? And so that's the reason why I feel like, I want to help other people as well see or practice some of the strategies that I've used over the years to, increase my visibility on LinkedIn, to ensure that I'm more marketable, to ensure that I'm more searchable on LinkedIn, and to ensure that I can then convert those opportunities that you get, right, from recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to you into actual job offers, right? So started out, after my first role as a BA here, a BA stands for business analyst. I got into CIBC, one of our top banks here, as a business process lead. Did that for about 2 years, moved on to poached by Constellation. I was poached by CIBC from this other company. Then I moved on to Constellation, which is our second largest software company here in Canada. And then from Constellation, again, I was poached at TalentNet. You might notice that the dates clash here. You can make of it what you will. You understand? Because basically, I'll be honest, at some point, I decided that because I got to a level at Constellation Software where I was pretty comfortable. I had my things together and I had reached a certain level in the organization where I had time on my hands. I had built other people up under me where I had then freed up my time. So I took on, multiple jobs, a couple of jobs here and there too, because honestly, I could, right? Not that I needed to, but I could, and I had the time. So I'm like, yeah, why not make extra money? I'm a young, able-bodied man anyways, right? So I did that. As you can see, that's why you can notice that this clashes with this date also clashes with this. So, but anyways, all of these opportunities also came in through LinkedIn. And then my current company, which is a senior product manager for Agero, also came in through LinkedIn. All right. At this juncture, I would want folks to introduce themselves before I just walk through the agenda. I'll just call names at random. My cousin, Sister Sean, is here as well. Whoop, whoop. Family supporting family. Really appreciate it. So Sister Sean, I'll actually start off with you first. Just a quick introduction. Doesn't need to be anything long, just a quick introduction for a roundtable.
All right, thank you very much, Pelumi. Good morning, everybody. Yes, my name is Cheryl. I'm all the way in Edmonton. I'm driving right now, so excuse the noise. And I cannot wait to start making money like my cousin. See, they say a prophet is not going in their own house. So I see what all the things that I had at my own backyard. Yes, I am so miserable where I am, and I'm really hoping to learn so much and to take a lot out of this opportunity today. So thank you so much for putting this up. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next we have Papa K.
Hello everyone. So I'm Samuel Papa K, and I'm an undergrad student in the pre-med field. And yeah, in addition to my education, I do music on the side. I'm a music creative. I do a lot of production, arrangements, and I play the bass guitar as well. So that's just a little bit to me. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks, Sam. Bukumi.
Hi everyone. My name is Bukumi Odunto. My background for school, I did mechanical engineering. I did my high school and uni and college here, and I've been working as a machinist for the past 7 years. So right now I feel like I need a change, and because life changes too, right? So I just feel like I've gotten so comfortable, like it's just become redundant. So that's the whole point of being here.
Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate that. Mary?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Dumay. I'm a business analyst. I've been a business analyst for some years. Um, why I came to this, I don't know what I was talking about, the why, but the why is I came in to the UK through the school route, and I just finished my schooling now. And when I first came in, I had a lot of recruiters in my DM. But the UK has this 20-hour work week issue. And so I kept getting oh, sorry, we can't accommodate your 20 hours. And now that I practically have finished, I'm looking for the recruiters to come to the DM. So I know, okay, maybe there's something I'm not doing again that I did before. And then when Pelumi's ad came up on my timeline, I just immediately signed up. And so I believe I'll be able to learn a lot here. And also I'm looking at pivoting either into a technical analyst or a product manager. I don't know yet, but technical architect, sorry, or a product manager. I don't know yet, but that's why I'm here basically. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Onyi?
Hi everyone, my name is Wayne. Yeah, like Bami said, it's my husband's name on the screen, but I'm here because my background is in insurance. I finished school a couple of years ago, and I did the Skill Hack course to become a project manager. But I haven't really found that is sticking. And I think that definitely has to do probably with my LinkedIn as well. So I'm hoping that this course is going to optimize my chances and, just keep growing and learning.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Onyi. Tolu?
Hi everyone, Tolu here. Just recently left my role as a restaurant manager after 6 years. So yeah, I'm here to learn a few things and see how best to market myself whilst venturing into new territory, I guess.
Thank you. Thanks, Tolu. Rose?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Rosemary. I have a background in philosophy, but when it comes to career, I am a little bit all over the place. So I have a lot of interest and I've done a lot of things. But right now, I want to build a solid career in database management and development and quality assurance. So that's why I'm here.
Amazing. Thanks, Rose. Next, we have Vivian.
Hi guys, my name is Vivian. I just wanted to say that I graduated previously a few years ago with in a degree in psychology. However, I'm in the process of transitioning into business and analysis and program manager, and I'm excited to learn more about LinkedIn.
Amazing. Hanma?
Hi everyone, really great to be here. My name is Hanma Madi. I graduated 2 years ago from U of T with a background in strategic management and entrepreneurship. I now work with BMO as a real estate finance analyst. I've been there for the last 2 years now. I'm here because I would like to learn more about how to leverage the power of LinkedIn. In addition to that, I volunteer with a nonprofit organization that's all based on career development. So I'm also here just to learn more about LinkedIn optimization, putting yourself out there, delivering value through LinkedIn so that I can also like pour some more value into the people that are members of this organization as well.
Amazing. And last but definitely not least, Fidi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fidi. I am a project management enthusiast, and I have background in product management in the banking industry from Nigeria. I have a few years work gap And I'm here because I want to position myself on LinkedIn to who I intend becoming from where I'm coming from.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very, very much. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for joining. I think her audio is... Tommy, can you hear us? I think her audio might be bad. Okay, she can. But I don't think she's able to talk. Are you able to talk, Tommy? Okay, not at the moment. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Tommy. All right, let's carry on. So our agenda for today. So I'm going to be walking you through why LinkedIn, right? Why do you need to be leveraging LinkedIn? For example, like I have leveraged LinkedIn for over the past 7, 8-ish years. I'm going to be showing you strategies on how to maximize your profile's impact. I'm going to be showing you strategies to boost your brand awareness. I'm going to be showing you how to, stand out with your job applications that you're probably doing through LinkedIn. And then we'll probably talk through some switching careers. Now, I know folks are probably wondering, why is this 2 hours, for example? The reason why I've done this is it's sort of a mini coaching session for this group. I want you guys to ask questions. Like I made it 2 hours. My presentation is not going to be that long. I'm going to talk, right? But I'm not going to be yapping all through, right? I want to ensure that you guys are able to ask your burning questions. And please feel free. This is a safe space. I know you might have questions like, hey, I'm trying to switch to this industry, but my managers are nosy and my colleagues are nosy. What do I do, right? You might have burning questions like that. I got answers for you, right? So please feel free to be able to ask. That's why I made this session, honestly, 2 hours, so that I can really cater to you guys' questions, your burning questions, your needs, so that we can then all learn from one another. All right? All right, cool. Let us jump into it. So, Rose, can you please run the second poll? I ended the first one, so I think we should be able to run the second one now. All right, so a couple of questions here. First question, I've just kind of to test you guys' knowledge. How many monthly visits do you think LinkedIn has? How many people do you think go on LinkedIn on a monthly basis? A rough swag. No worries. It's fine if you're wrong. I just want to get a gauge, right? Of what you guys think.
I don't think it was that much.
What do you guys think? I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I see 960 million. Okay. Okay. 450 million. Okay. There's no wrong answer, by the way. I mean, it's completely fine. No judgment here. Just want to have a feel of how what you guys think about LinkedIn. Just waiting for 2 other people to answer that first question. All right. So definitely looks like there are different opinions for that first one. People think, majority of people do think it's 1.6 billion. That's 40% of you guys. A lot of people think it's 380 million, 570 million, 960 million people on a monthly basis. Either ways, that number is kind of crazy if you really kind of think about it. Like monthly visits to a site, anything over 380 million people, that's insane. The correct answer is 1.6 billion people go on LinkedIn on a monthly basis. I'm saying all this so you'll have an understanding of how big a market this is and why it is worth focusing your time on, right? That's why I'm asking this question. Second question, how many people get hired on LinkedIn per minute? So I see here 50% of people think 6 people, 20% think 2, another 20% think 4, another 1% thinks 3 people. All good answers. The right answer is 6 people per minute are getting hired on LinkedIn. So I feel like I like this particular stat because it kind of tells you, yo, I gotta be in the next 1 minute of people that are getting hired. I gotta be in the next bracket of 6 people, right, that are getting hired. I feel like it makes it a little bit more achievable, right? Next question, how many companies are listed on LinkedIn? I feel like I'm still waiting for like 2 other people to answer this one. All right, don't want to delay. A couple of people think like 600, like 50% of people think 600,000 people. Sorry, 600,000 companies are listed on LinkedIn. The right answer is 67 million companies are listed on LinkedIn. Again, the marketplace is wild, quite frankly speaking. On the last question, how many countries is LinkedIn available in? So answers here, some people think 50 countries, some people think 150 countries. The right answer is 200 countries. So just to give you guys an idea, you know, the reach, how the market, you know, that is LinkedIn is wild. Honestly, it's insane. And so that's why it is essentially the biggest place where you can place your professional portfolio, right, to blow, right? As a matter of fact, brands, Hootsuite, they ran a research recently, and majority of brands value LinkedIn more for conversion of their business. So that's when prospective customers or opportunities are becoming actual customers that pay for a service. Majority of them, 72% of them, value LinkedIn more than other social media platforms. And mind you, LinkedIn is in competition with like Instagram, right? And TikTok and Facebook and them lot, right? So it is actually wild just how large a market LinkedIn is. And so if you're not tapping into it right now, this is your sign that you need to take it serious, okay? All right, thank you very much, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Share the results of the poll there. So let us go into this. All right. So a couple of other facts are named here. Some of them we already answered. So 1 second. All right. Some of them we already answered. Like I said, 1.6 billion monthly visits. 67 million companies are listed on LinkedIn. 6 people get hired every minute on LinkedIn. There's 1 billion users overall within LinkedIn. Is available in 200 plus countries now. Is more popular, right, by number of users than Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp, Reddit. These are big social media players, as you guys probably would know, right? So, you know, it's actually quite wild, right? Sorry, 1 second. Fidi got your message. Thank you. And yeah, posting weekly, for example, grows your network 7 times faster. I'm not necessarily advising you post weekly, but we'll get into that as we go on. All right. So a bit of an overview on sort of the purpose of LinkedIn. It's a living, breathing marketing collateral. So I wanted people to understand, and forgive my cough. The reason why I have sort of highlighted marketing in here is the way I want you to see things like your LinkedIn, your resume. Understand that they are marketing collaterals. These are not documents that are going to be that you'll be charged in court against because of something you've put there. So because of that, I want you to like tap into that creativity on how do I want to be perceived by people who come to my profile, right? There's an overall school of thought that you should be working towards, which is being perceived as a thought leader, right, within your industry. You see, when you do that, when you're perceived as that person of value, opportunities will always come to you. And there are strategies to do that. But I want you to bear that in mind. It's a marketing collateral, nothing more. This is not a Bible. Hello. Marketing collateral. So I want you to have that in mind, okay? Number two, it's a corporate social media, kind of self-explanatory. It's a corporate portfolio. Like I said, it is the platform where you would have the opportunity to put out your corporate portfolio and get more eyes on it for conversion than any other platform. Okay. So again, please, I want you to bear that in mind. I think I have somebody in the waiting room. Yeah. Fide, I just accepted your mobile. Yeah. Again, also, it allows recruiters and hiring managers get a sense of who you are before they meet you, which is very, very important, right? You want them to understand, who they will be working with if you are able to successfully get hired by them for whatever role they're hiring for. Again, it's also a job board. And essentially the goal for LinkedIn is to drive maximum traffic to your channel to be seen. So remember that, bear that in mind. You want to drive traffic to your channel. If people are always coming to, because I gotta think about like how social media influencers work, right? They create content, right? I guess I can put myself in that bracket right now because I am trying to be one. So I have been releasing content and everything, which is kind of how a bunch of people got to know about this anyways. But essentially we put our content so that people can know what we stand for and what we do. Now, what starts to happen organically is brands start to reach out to us, right? Even if we're not, the two ways, we get deals. Brands start to reach out to us, or we start to reach out to brands that, hey, see my portfolio, right, of things that I have done. I would like to work with you. A lot of them might say no, but opportunities will come, right? So kind of think about it that way as well. You want to drive maximum traffic. The more you're able to put yourself out there, the more you'll be seen. This is not the way. What I've learned, one of the biggest things that I've learned in my corporate career is, sorry guys. All right, one of the biggest things I've learned in my corporate career is that you have to put yourself out there. If people don't know that you want this or you want this role, even within your organization, right? If you want to become a manager, start talking to people about it. Start talking to your manager about it. Hey, you would like, an opportunity to lead a project. I'd like an opportunity to lead a team. I'd like an opportunity to be exposed to grow myself in leadership towards this area. The more you say it, and if you have a good manager, they start to give you they start to test you in little so that they know that they can test you in something much larger. The more you start to deliver, the more you organically work your way into that. So we're not here, we're not here for gentility. You're gonna have to put yourself out there to drive that maximum traffic to your LinkedIn profile. Okay, that's how you're gonna get opportunities. All right. So first part of LinkedIn, obviously, profile introduction. A couple of things to note here. You want to definitely have a banner. Here, I just grabbed a screenshot of what mine looks like, right? And I'll teach you like strategies like to really do like in-depth research to make sure that you're on par with the market, right? So to start out with, the banner, very, very important, right? Have a banner. It makes your LinkedIn profile looks more attractive, is aesthetically pleasing to whoever is coming there. It already starts to, paint you in a light of a more, solid professional. Very important, right? A lot of people might think, oh, this is a little bit difficult to do. No, very, very simple. Go to canva.com, simply type LinkedIn banner, you see a bunch of options. Also, LinkedIn has its own banners now that are pre-made, right? But you might not find them to suit with the brand you are trying to portray as, right? So because of that, go to Canva. There's a bunch of options, a lot more options. Get one that is free, or if you want to pay for one, sure, but you don't have to. Get one that is free, edit it, write details like I did, right? So I typically just throw in a value statement. You can also add in your job title there as well. So I could have put, like, for example, senior product manager. I just decided not to in this particular case. But throw in the value statements. In my own case, is driving innovation through strategic product management in the IT industry. right? Again, as anybody sees that, they see, okay, this is what I stand for. I drive innovation through strategic product management within the tech space. So they know right off the bat what I stand for. And remember, recruiters are busy people, very busy people. So the more you make their lives easier by providing key information about yourself, the easier it is for them to reach out to you. I'll give an example. So let's say a recruiter is working on 5 job requisitions as an example, right? Say tech startup or mid-sized company that doesn't have a huge recruiting team, right? As you guys know, right now in the industry, there's a lot of tech layoffs. People don't have jobs. People are looking for jobs, right? So imagine this recruiter is probably, working on 5 requisitions. After the ATS system, which is the system that essentially scans your resume and stuff and then chops you down, they probably have in the range of 50 resumes or 50 contacts per requisition that they have to reach out to. You feel me? That's a lot. You need to think about this just as a person. 250 people? Like, bruh. So typically, one of the first things that they do, I actually researched this, and 87% of recruiters today use LinkedIn to first go and vet you. After they find the resume somewhere, they still go to your LinkedIn to go and vet. That's how you see, or that's how you see on your LinkedIn, a recruiter viewed this profile. So you have to be questioning, okay, they viewed my profile, but they did not call me now. No, that's not. Where's the disconnect? There's no conversion. You know what I'm saying? So you're trying to get that conversion. So little things like this will make it easy. As you see this, from my banner, you can tell I'm a product person. Straight away. I'm not beating around the bush. This is what I'm about, right? So if you have a job for me, reach out to me, make it easy for them. They can see at a glance who I am, right? Very important. Second piece here is your profile picture. In this case, this is a very expensive profile picture, so please do respect this particular profile picture. The money that I paid is still paying me, quite frankly speaking. But yeah, my dear photographer friend did an amazing job. But yeah, pay if you can afford to pay for a professional profile picture, please do. Right? It is worth it, right? Just for your branding, right? There's a way you start being perceived, right, by other people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have just a random picture in there, right? If you kind of think about how you want to grow in your career, how you want to be perceived, right? Think about, they're trying to hire a team lead for a role. They're trying to hire a manager for a role, right? How do you want, they want somebody who can be portrayed as that, who they can put as a face of their company. That's why these little things are so important, and you can't neglect them, right? So have a nice profile picture in there, right? You can have it against a plain background. If you don't want to pay a photographer, there are AI tools out there, and I linked one in here. So I'm going to share this document with you guys as well to run through and have it as a collateral. But essentially, there are AI tools out there that you just give a bunch of random pictures, right? Make sure they're fairly good and your face is pretty clear, and it will actually produce you something similar like this. I have people who have done this, and honestly, I was pretty surprised by the quality of those pictures, right? So, by all means, please do this. You want to appear personable. You want to appear, don't frank your face. You understand? Pardon that, but honestly, smile, give a little smile, let a bit of your personality show, right? You guys will be surprised how, again, I've been a hiring manager myself. I still interviewed somebody last week, right? You'll be surprised how some people you might have all the skills, but if you don't come off as pleasant, as pleasurable, as nice to work with, some people will not give you the job. A lot of employers will not give you the job. People want to work with people that they like working with. Life is hard already. And then in the workplace again, it's already hard enough. So you're not giving someone that will be franking his face that I can't really communicate with. I don't want it. People don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Simply put, people don't want to work with assholes, right? Quite frankly speaking. So because of that, you already want your personality to start to shine, right? As you think about what you how you want to brand yourself. All right. Very, very important. And again, these are small things, but those small things, they matter a lot. To the crux of it, the headline. So to give you, so that you guys understand how this really works. On the recruiter side, right, they have something called LinkedIn Recruiter. If you haven't seen that platform before, it's not accessible to you and I because we're not recruiters, right? But I've gotten a demo of it before because, again, hiring manager, blah, blah, blah. So on the LinkedIn Recruiter side, essentially, it's a big filtering system, a search engine, essentially, right, that searches for talents based on certain keywords per section. So the way it is, on the left-hand side is a navigation bar. There are sections of your LinkedIn profile, of LinkedIn profiles, because the way LinkedIn works is, as I put all of these things in my headline, it goes into a database table, right? And that from that database table, that LinkedIn Recruiter platform can search against it to pull. For example, if you're searching for product manager, you go in there, type product manager. If they type that in the headline space, and you don't have product manager, for example, there, you're not going to pull up. And they do that to filter out people who don't fit the criteria of what they're looking for. So bear that in mind. Remember, recruiters are searching, they're looking, right, on the back end for your profile by searching for keywords, right? So that's why, having keywords in your profile, absolutely, it's probably, honestly speaking, we might as well end this master class here. Keywords will make or break your LinkedIn. Because if you're not searchable, opportunities cannot come to you. Do you understand? So you have to be searchable, right? That's how opportunities are going to come, right? So you have to use a bunch of keywords. Make sure, number one, you understand what the keywords are in your own industry. So if you're trying to get into QA, quality assurance, what are the keywords in there, right? Think about automated testing, for example. You think about some of the tools in that industry, right? You think about test scripts, test plans, right? Things like that. Those are keywords those are buzzwords and keywords within the testing industry, right? Within the QA industry. You have to think about how you can plug those around your profile, right? Formula to do this, honestly, you can put in your title and you can put in a value statement and let people know a little about other things that you do, right? So that, again, if they're searching for creator or career coach, I'm going to pull up. I can't count the number of messages I've gotten from people trying to collab with me from being a career coach, because I have that in here. So people know what I'm about, right? So very, very important. And then last part here that I'm going to talk about is connections. Now, your connections are so important because you're then viewed as being authentic, like this is not a fake account or anything like that, right? This is actually genuine account, right? So I know, okay, this person has a bunch of connections. Also, another thing that this does for you and why it's important to have connections is the way LinkedIn works is it ranks. So you might have seen something like, maybe you click on somebody's profile and then you see first or second or third. You've been wondering what that is. So let's say I'm connected to Sean, for example, right? If Sean views me or I view Sean, that's a first connection. But if, let's say, I'm connected to Sean, Sean's connected to Tommy, but I'm not connected to Tommy, if I go and view Tommy's profile, you're going to see second connect. You're going to see second. You're going to see the second or number 2. You've been wondering what that is. That's actually what that is. That shows that I'm connected to somebody that's directly connected to Tommy. Now, if Tommy is connected to Mary, as an example, and I'm not connected to Mary, and I go view Mary's profile, right? She's going to show up now as third connection. Does that make sense? Now, where that is important is this. The more connections and first and second connections, the more first connections you have, inherently the more second connections you would have, right? And so on and so forth. the more first connection you have, when recruiters, you see how, like, let's say a recruiter pulls me up, on the right-hand side of the profile, you're going to start seeing other name suggestions. Typically, those are my connections. And if a recruiter is maybe looking at me and saying that, okay, maybe Pelumi is a little bit too senior for this role, if you're connected to that person, to Pelumi, for example, you can start to show up and they can say, oh, okay, Tolu is an interesting profile, or Tolu is an interesting profile. Let me click into her and let me check, right? Does that make sense? So that's why it's important to have connections. Also, when there are job opportunities that people are posting, the more connections you have, you increase the chances of seeing that on your feed. So again, you're getting first movers advantage to see it before everybody pounces on it, right? Because you are directly connected to that person. You're not waiting for somebody else to have done a repost of that post. Do you get? So very, very important to increase your connections on LinkedIn. Very, very important. Another thing it just does for you is it helps you. So the way I would approach this, right, is if you're trying to get into, so for example, Mary, you are trying to get into either being a solutions architect, or you're trying to be a product manager. Just go on LinkedIn, search for product manager, start expanding your network. Start sending them invites. You don't always have to write notes. Some people will accept you regardless, as long as you have a nice profile, right? Start sending them, start connecting with people in. So by the time you type search product manager, right, or senior product manager or product, you see a bunch of people pull up, right? Start connecting with them. From there, you can start booking coffee chats with people. That's an easy way to network, right? We can work together if you want on the templates on how to like message them so that you can start getting those coffee chats, for example. Again, because you want to ensure that you leverage this to start using it for networking and other things to help you land better roles in your career, okay? At this point, do you guys have any questions before I move on? Again, remember, ask questions. If like a question is in your mind. Yes, Mr. Sean, please.
Just wanted to quickly ask based on the last thing you said now about that coffee chat. And thank you, by the way, so much. Like, as you're talking, I'm looking at my profile and my LinkedIn profile. I'm like, I'm so done. No wonder. So, you know, like, so enlightening. So thank you very much. Now, this coffee chat, I know you already said, like, maybe just that you like talk about a template, but this is like an in-person chat, right? Like,
yes. It doesn't have to be in person. It can be virtual.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that can be virtual. Especially now, nobody's really doing in person. Who will give you in person time?
Okay.
It's like, if you message me, I'm gonna book Zoom for you.
I see. Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
honestly, that's perfectly fine because the world has transitioned to that, right?
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you very much. And I had another question because I was writing my questions down, if you don't mind. Quickly. Now, first thing is, another one is, so this, you know, like, I'm just coming back to using LinkedIn. So now there's always this premium access or something like that I see. Is that something that you would recommend, like, for people to consider, or just stick with, you know, doing just the normal LinkedIn?
So the way I see it, if you can afford it, yes. If you're able to afford LinkedIn Premium, yes. If you're able to afford it, key, right? The reason why is it increases your visibility.
I see.
The way the LinkedIn algorithms work, you get ranked when they're searching for talents higher than a non-premium. But it doesn't mean that a non-premium who is super active on LinkedIn, because if you're premium, but you're not active on LinkedIn, LinkedIn algorithm is going to start bouncing you to the back. But if you're not premium, but you're super active on LinkedIn, again, your following is growing, all of that is growing, you will always come up on top, right? But if you can afford it, right, especially if you're more average in terms of like, you know, being active, then definitely please pay for premium.
All right. And my final question, which I think maybe we can park for much later, would be, personally, I have no idea what I even want to move to. I want to move away from where I am. I work for the government, Service Canada, as a benefits officer. But I want to move. I studied international relations. I was always thinking I'll be an ambassador or something like that, but long thing on the side. But I know I want to do more, but I have no idea where to start. I even have no idea about this, what I stand for. I don't know. I'm blank. So and I know it's a bigger whatever, but like I said, can just put that on the side and maybe we can talk about that later. Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have some good news at the end of the class that I will hold in my pocket so that you guys can stay. You listen to me by force today. But I have some good news to share at the end of the class that maybe might be able to help cater to that session.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
For sure. Mary.
Hello, Konami. Thank you so much for the valuable insight so far. I have a question and let's say maybe a tip.
Yes.
Okay. But before the question, thank you for your profile. So the first thing I did though, when I signed up was to go and look you up on LinkedIn. And when I looked you up, I used a bit of the tip I could see there. If you go down the part where you introduced yourself, I had an interview and I was able to have an idea on how to better introduce myself, and that gained me an opportunity to be moved to a more senior role for interview, basically.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
thank you very much.
Amazing.
My question is, I've been kind of out of work for how many years now? Since October 2022 when I started schooling. And because of the 20-hour work week stuff, I really couldn't do so much. I had a startup in Nigeria where I was doing a bit of product ownership for them, but on a volunteer basis. But I can't really put it there because of the strict rules here in the UK, right? But my question is, now that I'm actively searching for a job and want to get a job like yesterday, how do I push that? How do I sell myself as the best thing since fried rice, even with my career break, right?
No, great question. 2 ways. Thank you for that question. Number one, in the UK, and forgive me, I'm a local Canadian boy. You get is it that when you say it's a strict rule, are they policing what is on your profile? Because it's your profile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's your profile. And guess what? Did you do the job or not?
Yes, I did.
You did. Number one, it doesn't mean people have to know that it is a volunteer. And hence why, personally, if let's say you're mid-career, but maybe you're trying to transition and then you do an internship, I would never advise you to advertise that internship because you'll be viewed that way. You'll be viewed as green. So that's why you should put it as volunteer, because volunteer or not, you still put in the same effort that an employee would have put in.
Yeah.
So if they're not policing, if it's not something that, because again, I don't know the laws in the UK, so you want to be sure, but it's not something that you can go to jail for. My sister, slap it on your resume and market it well. Product manager at this, because you did the job and you can actually defend it. You get? Don't let nobody dictate it to you. If, however, they say, oh, absolutely, you can go to jail for this, blah, 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 which again, I would strongly doubt. In fact, I will fight it as a matter of fact. I did the job. I don't understand. I did the job. So are you telling me that I should lie and not do the job? You get? So definitely market it. If, however, on the other side, on the flip side, you also can tap into projects, things like that you did while you were schooling, right? And use that to sell certain salient things, right? On your LinkedIn profile, right? So you can you can slap things in your featured section, even in the experience section. Highlight key projects, right? You can just put maybe give yourself like a role, maybe a project lead or something, put in quotes your university name, and then put like a summarized version, a 3-liner about what the project was. Add some of the key skills that you used, in performing that project. Again, think outside the box, because remember, you're marketing yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're marketing yourself. So like, feel free to give expression to whatever will help you to stand out on your profile. Do you get?
Okay. So now that you're saying this though, while I was schooling, because my husband is a front-end developer. So while I was schooling, we actually worked on a product. There was one small issue we had with shopping, and so we basically work on a mini project and a product that we use internally in the house now to solve that issue. If I want to, I think I would rather put that. If I want to put that, do I put it as freelance, or how do I?
No, you don't have to put nothing as freelance.
Okay.
Did you do the job or did you not? Because like, I feel like my personal opinion is, while those freelance and things like that are not necessarily wrong, it creates an opportunity for buyers. You already, sorry, ma, I don't know, maybe you are white, but this picture I'm seeing, you are a black woman. You understand? There's already the bias of that.
Very true.
With Caucasians, right? Plus, you now start to put freelance. This one was a side gig now. This one was not, she did not really do this job. You don't want that bias. Do you get what I'm saying? And so that's why I always tell people, like, feel free, be at liberty to market yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, so please slap it, give it a sweet name. You get? And you can back it up. You actually have a story to tell. And on the product side, that's actually a great story. I can teach you strategies to help you beef it up a little bit more so that the story is even more attractive. You get?
Interested in that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Not a question, but just a tip on LinkedIn Premium. I don't know if I'm allowed to share.
Of course, please.
Okay. So when I came in, one thing I did was I went to reach out to every employee I saw that worked with LinkedIn, most especially LinkedIn in the US, their headquarters, and explain how I'm a new immigrant and I'm presently in school, but I'm trying to upskill, because then I was preparing for CBAP, which I have still not written. But spoke with them about how I understand the importance of LinkedIn Premium and how I would always go for it. But right now, finances are a bit low, and see if they could give me LinkedIn Premium for free. At the time, I was able to get 6 months for free.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. That's actually a great tip. I never thought about that. So thanks for sharing. That's amazing. That's really, really good. So again, that's something for folks out here. That's actually an amazing tip, because LinkedIn Premium it's a pretty penny. So that's actually great, Mary. Thanks so much for sharing. Papa K.
Yeah, Sheldon, thank you so much for the insights so far. With regards to where we last picked off, which is the connections side, I have a question regarding like the connections. So I wanted to know, I have a couple of questions actually, but I'll ask them like later. But with the connections, right? I just wanted to know, so does the number of connections really play a role in like the recruiting process? So let's say like a recruiter is looking for like people to hire and that kind of stuff. The number of obviously we are all trying to like revamp our LinkedIn profiles and stuff like that, right? But does the number of connections that I'll have as like, someone looking for a job, does it really play a role when the recruiter is looking for people? And also I just wanted to know, what do you think is the best way to initiate relevant connections on the platform? Because I think I saw an ad of you, was it last year, like around 31st December, and you were talking about how you're intimidated by LinkedIn. That ad, I don't know if you remember that one. Yeah, but yeah, and I was like, okay, 2024, I think I want to take this thing serious. Nice. And obviously one of the first things I thought of, okay, let me increase the connections. But I realized that Man, I'm trying to increase the connections, but I don't know whether I should just like invite anyone, that kind of stuff. Because like right now I'm currently in school, so most of my connections are the people in the university and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to know whether the role of the number of connections, the role it plays with regards to the recruiting process, and also the best way to initiate relevant connections on the platform.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very
So
much.
first question, does the number of connections play a role in the recruitment process? Objectively, no. Subjectively, yes. Right? So objectively, in terms of the number of connections, no, not quite. Right? But
Yeah.
subjectively, in how you are viewed as, oh, okay, people follow this guy because he appears to be providing the way, and I say subjectively because how you are viewed by the person who's viewing your profile is then, oh, so you see Pelumi now and say, or think about it, you see somebody on LinkedIn that has maybe 200,000 followers. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
This guy, like, he's like quite established. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
it's the way you are viewed. And that's why I say it's subjective. It's how you're viewed. Like, okay, I want to talk to this person. I want to understand why 200,000 people are following only you.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm just calling out 200,000 because I actually do know somebody who, and I definitely will recommend you guys to follow him. His name is Toby Oluwole. His skills. He is a full-time content creator just on LinkedIn. And he started like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. He has made $1 million from creating content on LinkedIn. That's not what this class is about, but that's just FYI. But yeah, if you guys don't know him, Toby Oluwole, he also like runs a bunch of like courses on like how to make money through LinkedIn and stuff like that. That's not what I'm doing. But just a plug there for him. But yeah, that's an idea, right? Your second question, on how do I expand my network? Start off with like this. You're on this forum. I'll say go follow everybody here. People that you know around, right? Start connecting with them. Start expanding your network that way, right? Then third of all, because I know you're still in school, okay? Start thinking about, okay, what field am I in right now? What field am I trying to get into, right? And then start. So let's say, for example, you are trying to become an aerospace engineer. I'm just saying something completely random, right? You're trying to become an aerospace engineer. You want to go on LinkedIn and type aerospace engineers. Start broadening your reach in that industry. Why? Because that will open up doors for you. You can start connecting with those people that are already in the field. You start learning about how they went through things, right? Also, when they post job opportunities and you know that you're trying to get into there, that's an in for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that way you're connecting with people that are relevant to where you are trying to get to. Do you get? So very, very important. Those are my own strategies. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. And I think final one regarding the connections. So I think like with the screen we have projected here, I can see 500 plus connections. I always see like people's profiles. Is 500 plus connections like the max or the apex or something like that? And at what point do they translate into followers? Do you understand? Because like obviously I haven't reached 500 yet, but I just see, let's say, the number of connections I have. How does followers differ from connections and that kind of stuff? Like at what point do you have people following you, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So typically what happens is when you send out a request, if it is accepted, they can then follow you back.
Okay.
Right? Or I might be wrong. Maybe once they accept, they automatically follow you back. Something like that. Right? But that's how you get your followers. As you can see here, my followers like over 3,000. What LinkedIn does is once you have over 500 people that you follow, they just tap on the user interface 500 plus connections, right? So typically that could mean I'm following 2,000 people.
Okay.
So that's just what that means.
Okay. Thank you very much, buddy.
You're welcome. Honma, I will take Honma as the last one for now, and then so that we can proceed with the presentation, and then I'll take more questions again.
Hi, Paloma. Thank you for a great session so far. So I had just two questions. One pertaining to the headline and your value statement. So I just wanted to find out, how do you craft the right value statement that balances keywords, but also like clearly articulates what you do, what you stand for? Because you'll find like some value statements that are clear, but they don't include those keywords, and you find some statements that have a lot of keywords, but they don't clearly articulate what you do. So what are some strategies there to balance things out? And then in terms of Mary's question, I was wondering, if you run an organization, you are like, it's a nonprofit organization, you technically are still volunteer, even though you're the leader. Do you still put that as your work experience, excluding the volunteer section that LinkedIn does give you the option to fill things out there in? Do you put that as work experience? Because I know you had mentioned you're doing the work. This isn't paid work, by the way. So would I still put that down as work experience? And then if it is as work experience on my LinkedIn, what's the correlation between what I have on my resume? And why I'm asking is, in the case where you get the job and then they ask you more about your experiences, do you also during the interview state this as your work experience? So I'm just trying to like track everything down. So LinkedIn replicating what you have on LinkedIn on your resume, would that also be work experience on my resume? And also, how do I articulate this in the point of an interview?
Yeah, definitely. Both great questions, Homer. So let me answer the first one, which is your value statement. How do you go about, crafting that value statement? If you are very experienced within your industry, those things will come to you because for example, I know the keywords in the product space because I've been working in products for a long time, right? In the IT business analysis space, I know that stuff, right? Those things are my bread and butter, right? So they will start to come to you. If you don't have enough experience, here are ways for you. You have to be very diligent in your research. So what I would do on my is two ways. Number one, I would research other people's profiles. And here's what another advantage of following people that are in spaces you're trying to get into, right? Follow them. Check. By the time you go to somebody's LinkedIn, you will know who's active and who's not active. Do you get what I'm saying? Follow them. See what are they putting there. That starts to give you pointers. Some of the things that I do in terms of diligence, and I'll get into that, is I would literally open like 15 tabs of different people. I'm like, okay, I like this profile, I like this profile, I like this profile, I like this profile. I'll grab those things that I want. I grab them into an Excel spreadsheet. I'll read through them a couple of times. And then through that, draw inspiration to write mine. Still bearing in mind the keywords that they've used. Number one. Second way you can do it, an easy way. Use AI. ChatGPT. Make sure you give it a very accurate prompt. I am trying to optimize my ability to be searched through my headline on LinkedIn. I am in XYZ industry, right? Trying to get into XYZ type of roles. What can I use as my headline value statement? We'll literally craft you something. And then from there, you can take it. If you don't like it, you can tweak it yourself, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. Cool. All right.
Thank you. That works.
Your next question about if you're doing a volunteer, in quotes, let's say your personal project. Again, the way the industry is, what I would advise me. If other people, so I always joke with a lot of my mentees and my students about this. There is book knowledge, in quotes, legal knowledge. And there's the ones that I've learned on the streets. You get what I'm saying? So this one I'm about to tell you are things I have learned on the streets. If, for example, now, let's say Mary, with the pet project that her and her husband worked on, she did QA testing. She, ran, maybe they even did some test scripts because her husband is a software developer and stuff like that. I will absolutely market that as work experience. Do you think about it? your recruiter, whoever is interviewing you, doesn't actually have the right to know if you are paid on a role or not. They don't. They can't go verify it. Again, this is street knowledge. So if you're somebody who is struggling with experiences and you're trying to put yourself out there, market is, you can market it as both safe, but I would say market it as experience because you've done the same thing that somebody regularly would have done. So what you're doing is you're increasing your chances. And this is not lying. You are basically positioning, again, remember what I said at the beginning. This is a marketing. So imagine Wizkid is coming to town, coming to Toronto, right? There's a billboard right there. What are the things you want to see? That's how you want to view this thing. You get what I'm saying? That's how you want to view this. Again, like I said, it's not a Bible. This is for marketing purposes. There's a reason why certain ads, you go to a dealership, they're telling you certain things, entering your head. Your head is like this. I want that car. There's a reason. It's not because everything is Bible truth. It's because they're trying to bring about conversion. Think about it that way as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So that personally, the way I've learned things on the streets, you got to do some of those things. You get me?
That helps so much. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And same way, just extra tip for you guys. If you're at an interview and maybe, let's say in negotiation, the recruiter is telling you how much are you earning in your last role? Again, they cannot go and confirm it from a company. Let's say you want to earn 100,000 and they're offering you 80,000. And you now say, oh, my last role I was earning 70,000. Please don't. Tell them your last role you're earning 90,000. In your mind, that's what you are earning. Yes. Because they don't have a right to ask you those questions, but some of them will poke because, again, they're trying to save funds for their company. Do you get me? So please, just extra tip. I don't know why I want a little bit to say that, but I just thought I'll drop it. All right, let's carry on. Professional experience. A couple of things to note here. There's the about section and there's experience. The about section, I left that one. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that one for a specific purpose. Very, very important. So sorry guys, there's some errors here. In your professional experience, you want to add, number one, your most relevant experience with aligned job titles. So essentially, perfect segue from the conversation we just had. Make sure they are relevant experiences. And these are some of the ways. If let's say, let's say you are working as a customer service agent, or let's say you are working as a general manager for a restaurant location or a branch manager for a restaurant location, right? And let's say you're trying to get into operations, as an example. There are lots of things that you've done on your job that are operations related. Nobody is telling you that you have to then put, general manager. No. You can absolutely then decide to, how do I put this? You can then decide to magnify is what I'm looking for. Sorry. You can then use your magnifying glasses to focus specifically on the things that you did that are related to operations management, right? And then through that, market yourself as an operations manager or an operations lead. Because what is going to happen is, let's say you're working as a customer service agent, and maybe you're working for a CSR for a software company, but all you're doing is picking up customer phones and answering concerns. On some of those roles, they will tell you, Fidi, can you test this new process for us? Or can you help us create a new process that we used to handle something, that we used to handle this type of cases? Or Vivian, can you help us test this new application that we're thinking of? In all of those instances, you would have done that job, but they never changed your role. You'll have still been CSR, customer service rep. Now, you want to go into testing, or you want to become a process analyst. And you now say customer service rep on your resume, on your LinkedIn, and you think a recruiter is going to call you. Good luck. Good luck there. I can tell you for free, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can tell you for free. Again, recruiters don't have time. They want to see titles of people who have done similar things. So you have to think past what your job title was. What were the things that I did? So now, if I was Vivian, I will highlight the fact that tested, led something for this software. I'm gonna learn the lingo that they use in QA testing. Wrote test plan for testing XYZ software. Ran test scripts for something. Conducted manual testing for XYZ software, things like that. And I will call myself a QA analyst. Again, remember, like I said, it's a marketing collateral. Have I lied? No, I did those things at that company. Yeah. And so you have to remember, you have to sometimes tweak your job title to better suit the industry you're trying to get into. Because again, the market is tough. A recruiter will not call a CSR for a product manager, ma. Sir. They won't. I'm telling you, for free. Before you have a CSR customer service, you know what you get more? More customer service. So very, very important. And I know a lot of people struggle with this. Again, I have to make you guys remember, I do this a lot. Talk to a ton of people about this. I'm telling you, right? So very, very important. Pick out the things within your previous roles that resonate to where you're trying to get to. And you build your profile towards the role you're trying to get, not what you were. Do you get? Again, secondly, your job duties on your resume, it doesn't actually have to be exactly, it's a snapshot, right, of your resume. Let them be hungry for more, right? So I typically will recommend a summarized version of what you did in that role, right? Highlight key projects, right? I'll show you that in my profile in a second. Show career progression within the organization if you can, right? So as you can see, in my own case, maybe I should open my. Can you guys see LinkedIn loading? Is that what you guys see? Or are you seeing the master's class document?
I see the LinkedIn.
You can see the LinkedIn. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So as you can see here, for example, I have like a bit of that career progression here from product manager to senior product manager, right? Same thing here with CIBC, right? As you can see. So try to show that as well. And I highlight key projects, right? Key projects. I like if there are any. So the way you want to highlight key projects, and this is where you have to be careful. Make sure there are documents that if you have to confirm like with your team organizationally, like internally, find out that it's a document or it's a collateral that can be shared. But typically I just go to like the company website. What are the things that have been published already? If they've been published already, then that means it's accessible to the public. So I don't need to ask anybody in that case, right? So then I can take them, link them on my LinkedIn profile and start to use that for, hey, here is a version of the work that I've done, things like that. You want to do things like that, right? So again, very, very, very important. The next section, actually, I lied. I'm gonna go back here. There is a section here that I'm looking for. I apologize, guys. Just give me a second. Something here that I absolutely have to get to. All right, the about section. Very, very important. This is the largest piece of real estate that you have on your LinkedIn profile. Okay. And again, if you kind of think about, sorry, things are collapsing in my office. If you kind of think about keywords that I'm always mentioning, right? About section is a place where you can pack them because the amount of space that you have in the about section, you don't have it anywhere else on your LinkedIn profile. So you guys can see, mine used to be worse than this. I'm telling you, I remember years ago, I did a LinkedIn course. That's what exposed my mind to this, right? So the way you can go about this is write a summary paragraph of your experience and skills. Again, there are ways to do that by carrying out that research, in-depth research, understand what are other people putting in the industry. Again, identify key accounts that you want to mirror yourselves after, draw inspirations from those to do these things, You can find, okay, what are the rest about section? Can I craft something myself? Or can I use AI and then tweak it to make sure that it sounds like me, right? Make it authentic enough, but it doesn't mean you can't get assistance. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you can't draw inspiration, right? Do that. Write about yourself. As you can see, myself as a senior product manager throughout my career, some of the things that I've achieved, right? Again, include key accomplishments with some certain key metrics. So I have this whole accomplishment section with like metrics on how I've impacted organizations that I have worked at, right? Do that. If you don't have those numbers, you can also infer or find out, do a bit of digging, right? What was the impact of this? Or how can I infer what the impact of this activity was within my organization? Infer those things as well. It's perfectly fine. As long as you can back it up, you can actually talk through it, right? Very important. In the context of making lives easier for recruiters or whoever is coming to your profile to reach out to you, please, for the love of God, add your email address in here. You see how I have my senior product manager, IT, email, this, very important. Why? Because LinkedIn can be quite crowded. So sometimes you just have a bunch of DMs or people that are trying to either scam you, Indians, God forgive me, right? Like they're trying to, get in contact with you and stuff like that. Some of those people, because of that, people don't want to send you a message. People don't want to send you messages because of that, right? So if you have your email in here, it makes it easier for the recruiter to know that if I send this person an email, they will get it. But I might drop them a LinkedIn message, but they might miss it. So when you have an email in there, easy to reach. Easy. I've had this happen to me where the recruiters did not reach out to me via LinkedIn, but send me email directly. Find a LinkedIn profile, blah, 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 blah. Here's an opportunity we're trying to, that we thought you'd be a good fit for, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, I can show you these emails, right? So please add your email in there. Very important. Key accomplishments, core competencies. As you can see, again, more keywords. Back the keywords inside this thing. Again, what you're looking for is to be found, is for your account to be top of the pile, is for your profile to be pulled up. All right. I'll answer one question. Homer said, what if employees from your company view your profile, would you be queried? Fantastic question. I've been waiting for this question. This one, I'm passionate about it. If you are changing jobs, here's what I advise, right? If you are switching careers, let's say you're working in CSR, you're trying to break into like business analysis, and you have nosy employees or bosses, my brother, my sister, there are 7 billion people in this world. I'm telling you, 7 billion. You know what that number is? 7 billion people. If you're worried about that, they can't help you. Let me tell you now for free. They cannot help you. There are 7 billion other people that are waiting out there to help you. Block them if you have an issue with it. I'm telling you. Our director at Skill Hearts, who's my friend of mine, right? Again, Skill Hearts is another organization that I work for, where I do career mentoring for, aside my stuff that I do on the personal side. Before he started this company, he blocked his boss. And more, he was an AVP, associate vice president at that company. He blocked his boss until he had built something that he knew that, okay, now I have something. Now the company is, worth over $2.5 million today, right? There are 7 billion other people that are waiting to help you. I'm telling you, if that's an issue and people are poking around, I've done it. I will not tell you something I've not done. I blocked them. I don't understand. You know how many companies? On LinkedIn alone, 67 million companies. It's not one manager. You must be on my own LinkedIn, my link that I'm paying with my own dollar for. You must be joking. Block them away. I'm telling you, if that's an issue for you, block them. You can accept them. You can unblock them later in the future. It's okay, man. It's okay. Telling you. Again, these are strategies that streetwise, but they work. They work. All right. All right. Again, feel free to drop questions in the chat. Perfectly fine. I am keeping an eye out on those questions, and I'll be answering them as we carry on. After the skills and accomplishments section, I would open up the room again for people to ask more questions. All right. All right. I hope folks are not getting bored. I hope this is still valuable to people. Sorry if I get a bit passionate. I promise I'm not shouting at you. I am just passionate about this information that I want you guys to really, feed off of and learn, right? So, apologies. Skills and accomplishments. Thanks, Omar. I appreciate that. Skills and accomplishments. Before on LinkedIn, you could only add like 50 skills. I literally just checked this last night. Now you can add 100 skills. So even me, I need to go update it. Because so again, on that LinkedIn recruiter profile, one of the biggest areas where they're searching from is your skill section. And a couple of things that I see that people make a mistake here. And I bet if I check many of your profiles, I will find the same thing. Here's the thing. So this is skill section down here, right? Skill section, where's it again? Right here, right? As you can see, I have 54 skills. Please don't go and be putting 20. No. Oh, the 100, maximize it. Again, I just found out this last night. That's why my own is not 100. Because be rest assured, a few weeks, give me a few weeks, it's going to be 100. The reason why is they search with, again, here, this is an opportunity to spoil it with keywords. But now it's skills. They do a lot of search by skills. The way LinkedIn pairs you with job opportunities as well is by skills that you have in your profile. So that's why you see things like they'll prompt you with an alert, something like, oh, your skills, your profile matches the skills in this job, or if you added these skills to your profile, you will match with this kind of jobs. You've probably seen notifications like that on LinkedIn, right? Or maybe you haven't, but just an idea. It is available. Make sure they are all skills that are relevant to the kind of roles you're trying to get. Don't come and be putting CSR for me. You're trying to break the business analysis. You're putting CSR. Customer service. I can nod you. Please make sure they're all like skills, right, that are related to the industry. Don't come and be putting Microsoft Office. Really? If you don't know how to use Microsoft Office today, then what are you doing? Those are not relevant. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get into the program management space, product roadmap, product strategy. I'm trying to get into finance, ROI, revenue. Those kind of strong keywords that are going to be searched for. That's what you should be using. Again, same approach to find what those skills are. You can use AI. You can literally type a prompt into ChatGPT, and I actually have that for you in these documents. I put it in the appendix section, which I'll share with you guys at the end of the session. But you can put in a prompt in ChatGPT to get you all of those relevant skills. Look at, make sure everything is in line with, slap it on your LinkedIn profile. You have nothing to lose. You only have something to gain. Do you get? So, make sure it's all relevant. Or as you can see, you're not going to, I'm sorry, you will not see nonsense in my LinkedIn something. Everything that's here, I have thought it through very well. I'm telling you. Do you get? These are things that are relevant in my own industry. Okay. So you want to check out what is relevant in my own space, what I'm trying to get into. Mary, you're trying to get into more architecture based. You want to be having things like GraphQL. You want to be having things like RabbitMQ. You want to be having things like REST APIs. You want to be having APIs. You want to be having tech stacks, things like that. That are, if you're trying to get into like architecture, like solutions architecture, right? These are the things that they have discussions about, right? Again, you can even do TikTok searches to find some of these answers. Like what are some of those relevant skills that I need to be adding to my LinkedIn profile for these types of roles? Okay. Next, again, like I said, make sure they're all relevant. This is a main field that recruiters use in searching for talents. Don't do generic things like Microsoft Word and then, you know, time management. Really, you don't mean it. Multitasker. So I mean, man, you know, you don't need them ones. They're not relevant enough. They're not doing you any good, right? Add relevant buzzwords in the industry, right? Technical skills and tools. So the way you want to think about is their technical skills, tools, and then soft skills. For example, a soft skill would be like leadership, as an example. A technical skill might be like agile methodologies, as an example. And then a tool or a software, a tool might be something like Jira or Confluence or Balsamic or Figma, something like that, right? That's what you want to think about how you can do that. Again, like I said, ChatGPT can help. And then also take skills assessments to get badges. So the way LinkedIn has it, let me see if I have anyone here. Let me see if I have anyone. Yes. So for example, agile methodology, as you can see here, I took a quick LinkedIn assessment. They gave me a badge. Again, it shows that he is verified. He has done a test. And so his knowledge is verified. So if a recruiter was looking to your profile and saw that, okay, that's a good sign. You get what I'm saying? So that also helps. And again, they're very, very short assessments that honestly you can do and then just pass them and have that up on your profile. All right. How important are endorsements in your profile? They're pretty important. It's good for people to endorse you. You don't lose anything from those things. Again, it's not objective. Like I said before, it's subjective. Like it increases your rep, to put it in modern terminology, right? It increases like your outlay or how people view you, right, within the industry. If you think about hiring managers and recruiters, how they'll be viewing you, right? If you're endorsed by different people for certain skills, they can say, okay, this person, you know, is trusted by others, so he or she is potentially trustworthy, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. I promise to open the door again for more questions. Do you guys have more questions? Questions before we kind of proceed to my final, you know, in-depth something that I do here, which is strategies to stand out. Any questions? I go on, Bukumi.
I have a question. Basically, so switching from a different field to like now that I'm in mechanical engineering, basically like machining hands-on, like building parts for aerospace. And I'm thinking like, and I go randomly into like thinking of going into cybersecurity or project management. Like, how do I now review my LinkedIn? Like what will you say is the best place to start from? Like if you are moving from a different field totally, how do you revamp do you still use your past experiences or skills as keywords that you're going to be putting in your LinkedIn, or do you have to change everything over again?
So great question, Bukumi. You know, the way you want to think about it is, again, like I said, marketing. If you're switching from like that, you know, the machine side and engineering, core engineering side into cybersecurity, I would imagine that, you know, your first step would be taking courses and things like that to beef up your skill set in cybersecurity. So you'll be learning things like pen testing, risk assessments. You'll be learning things like ciphers and deciphers. You know, you'll be learning things like identity and access management, blah, blah, blah. For the record, I've worked in cybersecurity before, so people might be looking at me that, okay, how do I know this? I've dabbled into a couple of things in my career, right? So once, as you're getting those skills, be packing them and you're dumping them into your LinkedIn, right? You are then starting to create a brand. If you know for a fact that, okay, I'm not looking for opportunities in this other area anymore, you don't lose anything from completely rebranding yourself. Kind of think about if, let's say, I want to rebrand myself now as a travel content creator, solely as a travel content creator on social media, on Instagram as an example. I'm not going to be leaving all these ones where I'm speaking grammar at people that something come and sign up for LinkedIn Masterclass. It is no longer relevant to what I'm trying to brand myself as. Remember, and if my goal is to convert my content into deals for me, right? Brands are not going to come and see, oh, maybe TripAdvisor wants to partner with me. It's not going to be come and sign up for LinkedIn Masterclass that's going to pull that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about it that same way. Again, like, and I always stress to this, right? It's a marketing collateral. So if you think about it that way, right, you have to rebrand yourself. If you're certain that, you know, I no longer want this space, right? Again, but then there could be a middle ground, right? There could be a middle ground, especially because engineering, cybersecurity, they are definitely interwoven parts where me and you can definitely, again, for Bukumi specifically, because, you know, I have a relationship with Bukumi, but there are things that we can work about to intertwine them so that, you know, they both kind of work for you.
All right.
All right, Homa.
Thank you.
Hi, Palumi. Thanks again. I just want to find out about the about section of a LinkedIn profile. So I know I've seen a couple profiles where the about section is short, and compared to yours, like that was quite. It did have a good number of characters in it, and rightfully so. I wanted to find out in terms of attention span, like do people actually have that much time to read that much content because it was quite detailed, right? Do people actually have that much time to read that much detail about yourself, and would you be short-selling yourself if you can't succinctly describe yourself using a few words, highlighting just the key things that you've done as opposed to having such an extensive about section, right? So I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Fantastic question. I kind of think about it in two ways. Number one, why did LinkedIn allow us to add this number of characters? That's the first question you got to ask. If, in fact, this must be short, why did they allow us to add this number of characters? This is the only section on LinkedIn that can add this number of characters. That's number one. Number two, from my vantage point, I don't care if somebody goes on to read this whole thing. But you know what I care about? I care that when the recruiter is searching and looking for somebody who has impacted annual recurring revenue, I'm going to pull up. Do you get the idea? So this isn't, the way I view this, is not necessarily for some. How many people's profile do you go in and read every single thing? Even you, they are not a recruiter. So I absolutely did not expect them to read this. No, I don't. And that's why the first paragraph is important, to understand, here's who I am. It's meant to be a grabber, to understand, okay, yeah, this guy seems interesting. Let me learn more. For the ones that want to be diligent. But guess what? Either ways, I have been pulled up to their front. That's what I need. That is my key success metrics here. That's my North Star, as they say in product, right? Can I show up? Can my profile show up in front of a recruiter? Because I've added keywords, many keywords in here. Yes, bam. That's first metric met. Second metric, can I convert that into a message from the recruiter? Do you get?
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
That's the way I see it. Samuel. Okay.
Thank you so much for me. I have a question regarding the recruiting process. So, obviously, we're going to revamp our profiles and to gain traction and that kind of stuff. Now, when your LinkedIn profile like looks desirable for like recruiters and that kind of stuff, obviously you're going to get some DMs and that kind of thing. What's the best way to decipher between recruiters? Because well, let me use a personal experience. For this year, I received about 2 DMs, which is pretty strange. But yeah, just because I decided to, okay, let me just actually rebrand the whole thing a little bit. And like, no offense intended anyway whatsoever. And I got one email from an Indian guy and that kind of stuff. I checked out the profile. I don't know, in my mind, I have a template that the desired profile that I would personally want to DM me should look, right. And his own didn't kind of look like that. It was just like, oh, 500 plus connections, nothing. Like, I'm like, what's going on? You know, that kind of thing. So how do you decipher between different profiles that are recruiting you or different people that want to reach out to you and that kind of stuff? What's the best way? What are the things to look out for, just so that you don't fall prey to, you know, some other schemes and that kind of thing?
Great question. Great question. And it makes sense they are asking this question, right, Papa K? Because obviously, again, still in school, looking ahead, when I get out of school, things like that. There's a lot of these things, a lot of these scams out there. So you have to be pretty clever in your research. So you already did the first thing. Research their profile, right? Stop spotting certain red flags, right? Do that research. Absolutely do that research. Another pointer, you can ask them to send you an email and look at the domain, right? That will also start to give you pointers, right? Again, that's not definitive because it could be a small startup recruiting firm, right? That's just gotten their first deal, right? With a startup company. It could still be legit at that point, right? But these are ways that you search. Okay, do they have a website, right? Can I get the job? Can I get the full job duties? Probe, ask questions. Those are ways that you're going to get more answers to understand if the person is actually legitimate. My final thought on that is this. As long as they haven't asked for any personal identification, which should not happen until you have signed a legitimate offer, right? That you can bet that it's legitimate. Before then, nobody should be asking you for SIN, please, or SIN or your national identity number or anything like that. Or your passport ID. Nobody should be asking you for the document. They can ask you, are you a permanent resident? Do you have work permits? You can say yes, or do you whatever. Are you a citizen? Can I say yes? That's fine. As long as they're not asking for the details, you're still in the clear. Because you just never know. Some companies are really lax with these things and so lackadaisical, right? And so some things might not portray initially as super professional, but it doesn't mean it is not. But I would do that research, probe, ask more questions. Is there a website? Or blah blah blah. Is there, can you send me the full job duties? Again, you're at no risk if you haven't provided any personal data. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions before I proceed? All right, let's go on. I want to make sure that I stick to time here. All right, my strategies to stand out. Number one, expand your network. This will give you more credibility. It will increase your opportunities, your exposure, and it keeps you informed. If you expand your network, let's say you have a network of people that work in the product management space. So let me first talk about the how. Follow companies that you're interested in, of interest. So either companies that you have interest in working for, or it could be companies that it could be like, you could do research on like, what are the top 20 tech startups in the UK, as an example, right? Follow all of them. You want to keep yourself informed, right? Follow people in your current and desired line of work, like I've been talking about all day. Follow relevant groups and newsletters, because you get a lot of, what you need is information. You need that a lot. Number one, increases your credibility, increases the number of opportunities you get. Because of those first connections, second connections, it increases your chances of being pulled up by recruiters, right? Remember that, very important. And especially if you come around to like posting content. I hope I have that in the slides. Sorry, give me a second. I do. Okay, we'll get there. I just wanted to be entirely sure, right? But essentially, expand your network. What do you have to lose? You don't lose anything. Follow somebody. They don't follow you back. It's okay. Again, like I said, there's 7 billion other people, right? follow people that are relevant in your space. Again, these things will drive opportunities for you. So very, very, very important. Okay. Let's go on here. Number 2, drive traffic. What you want is more traffic, because more traffic is going to lead to more visibility. More visibility is going to lead to more opportunities. Okay. So again, very, very important. You want to optimize or maximize the number of opportunities that are coming to you. You want to ensure that you are being perceived as a thought leader. If you're driving traffic, right, you're going to be perceived as a thought leader. And companies love this, telling you, because you just appear smart. This guy, he has thoughts that other people follow and stand by. Bam, we want that kind of guy. We want that kind of person to lead our team. Things like that, right? What do you want to perceive as? Always ask yourself that question. So my recommendation, post often. Whatever cadence is sustainable for you. I'm not saying post daily or post weekly, no, but post at a consistent cadence, right? If it's weekly, you can do. If it's once a month, you can do. It's fine, but try to drop a post every now and then. Now, here is where point 1 here ties into that. If you follow companies of interest, people of interest, they will be posting feeds. To post, it doesn't have to be a novel idea. You can repost somebody else's thing and write one or two cents of what you think. Or guess what? You can also ask ChatGPT to do this for you. Personally, I would recommend add your own 2 cents because it comes off a little bit more original. But even if ChatGPT comes up with it, you can also tweak it to be a little bit of your own thoughts as well, right? But it can give you a head start, right? So, try to post, because again, that's going to drive traffic. People are going to be noticing you. Those recruiters that you've been following, they'll be seeing that, this person is posting. Okay, this person just finished this certification. This person just finished this course. You post about it, right? The content, again, like I said, doesn't have to be novel. You can repost other people's content. Companies that are posting new tips, for example, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it all over social media. The past 2 weeks, there's been one product that's been majorly trending. Apple Vision Pro, right? Again, if you follow companies that are connected, they will have posted these things. You can also post, this seems like a really interesting product. I can't wait to try it. Blah, 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 blah. Here are the things that I think that they had problems that I think that this solves, blah, blah, blah. Just write your own 2 cents. It's fine. People are going to react to it, blah, 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 blah. Your views will start growing. You're going to start getting more people following you. People start saying, okay, this person's idea is interesting. This person's thoughts on this is interesting. Things like that, right? Don't post random things. Make sure they're relevant content. Don't come and post your baby has grown two teeth. Okay, like even if you're going to post that, tie it into a bit of relevance, right? Into your line of work where you're trying to get into. Okay. Again, use LinkedIn Premium for more visibility if you can. Take LinkedIn courses and certifications and post them once done. I also do this, right? I can show you guys. So for example, in my certification section, right? See, building a product roadmap 2020, right? LinkedIn. Again, especially if you're on a budget, these are easy ways to slap certifications on your profile to gain better credibility. You get what I'm saying, right? One of my guys that giving recommendations, Tim, as an example. Oh my God, you guys need to see this. See how many certifications this man has done? 56, right? A bunch, he slaps everything on there. Everything. He puts everything on it. Everything. He's done a bunch, right? So you want to make sure they're doing these things, right? You want to make sure and be posting them. Remember one year, I have a post in my feature section, right? That probably did, this was in 2020 or something. It did close to 50,000 views on LinkedIn, right? Maybe I had 1,000 followers at that time or something like that. I don't remember. But it was, I think it was one of these posts, this one or the other one. I can't see the stats fully for some weird reasons. I can't see the stats anymore. But this particular post, just because I finished the certification. It got like almost 50,000 views, right? And guess what? Those are 50,000 people that have now seen my name again. Did they all convert to followers? No, but some of them did. And that's how you grow. Again, more opportunities will come that way, right? So very, very important to do these things. Turn on your feature section. To do this, you have to turn on the what do you call it now? To do this, you have to turn on the content like creator functionality on LinkedIn. So try to do that, right? Again, you start to appear more as a thought leader, right? Very, very important. Then finally, making career switches. Know the industry you're trying to get yourself into, right? Repurpose your current roles. I've spoken about that before as well. Message HM is hiring manager. One way, and I have a template for you guys for this actually, is when you apply for jobs on LinkedIn, don't just apply and leave it. Apply, but look for the hiring manager or the recruiter, right? Send them a message. I have a template for that I'm going to show you on how you can message them. They might not respond, but guess what? You have flagged a name. You can then go check when they finally have time. Oh, it told me message me about this. Can I see what this person that messaged me said? Can I see what are they messaging me for? Can I see what's this the application that they've actually put together? Sorry guys. People put in a room. I think we lost Mary and Rose before. Sorry guys. Hi Mary, Rose. Sorry, I think we lost you guys earlier. Maybe their phones died or something. Hey guys. Okay. Yeah, I'll disconnect. So yeah, message. Oh, no worries, no worries. So message recruiter or hiring manager after you apply for a job. It flags your name. It flags your name. You can even just, oh, this Mary that messaged me, like, let me even look for the application and see what it looks like, right? They might not respond to you, but do it. Try to do it every single time, right? Find the person who posted the job, whatever, and then look for the typically hiring managers a little bit, they respond a little bit better than recruiters, right? Again, recruiters to have a lot of pressure on them, right? Set job preferences, right? Make sure you're getting relevant jobs, right? You can do that on LinkedIn. You can set preferences, right, on jobs that the kind of jobs that you want to be, getting notifications for. I do that a lot. Apply regardless of the 100+ applicants that you normally see on the job, right? Apply regardless. Why? Because the 100+ applicants doesn't mean 100 people have applied. It's the number of people that have clicked on the link on LinkedIn for that job. Do you get? So that shouldn't discourage you from applying for the job. All right. So apply regardless. And finally, man, don't give up. Don't give up. The industry is a little bit tougher right now, generally, but people are still getting jobs, right? I know this is very critical for people here. Yours is out there. So go get yours and don't give up don't stop until you get it. Apply all these strategies on LinkedIn, network, put in the hard work. It will definitely happen. Okay. Outro from me. I have a couple of ChatGPT prompts here. Again, I'm gonna share this with you guys, but if you want to take screenshots, whatever, you can. This is the messaging template that I promised. Hi, insert your name. I am a whatever, insert your current role. I saw that you posted this role on LinkedIn. Super passionate about working for Post the company. I wanted to reach out to flag my application and hopefully connect if there's an interest in my profile, right? Do that every time. It doesn't cost you anything. Whether they respond or not, it's okay. Do it regardless. It will help you come up on the pile a little bit more. That's just an extra tip, right? Again, setting ChatGPT prompts to get the skills, to beef up your about sections, companies to follow. I added those as some appendix. And finally, I will open up the floor for any questions. Thank you guys for listening to me talk passionately about things that I love. And I hope that this has been helpful for somebody. Thank you. Questions? I appreciate the love. I appreciate. Papa K, please go on.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I just have a few questions. So this might take just a little while. I know the very last slide before the outro was a slide on making career switches. So yeah, I think one of our colleagues right on this call too had a question regarding you know, like I think she's at a point where she's also looking into transitioning into like a new role and that kind of thing. I'm currently experiencing something similar, but I just have a few questions regarding like a certain role, right? So I think I remember that one. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is a safe space and all that.
Yep.
Making career switches, right? I wanted to know like the whole project management thing, and I want to drive us back to, I think your intro, you mentioned something about how, like when you were showing your work experiences so far, I think you started a job somewhere in 2018 or so, but you just mentioned, I think this is the phrase you said, you were making your weaknesses become your strengths, and you just realized that that's just not it, right? I think I'm kind of at that point, right? I'm kind of at that point now, and personally, I'm doing like a self-evaluation to see, like my guy, what are your natural values, right? And like my track record, I've had like basic like soft skills like leadership and that kind of thing help me in places, even like in school, like I've held like several positions and that kind of stuff. But I think I'm at a point where I've been researching on the field project management, right? The project management field, what it entails, and all that kind of stuff. I just have a few questions regarding that. So I wanted to know, for project management, right, what's the way to go? Like, I'm taking an undergrad degree in like biomedical sciences, right? But I wanted to know what are the requisite certifications? What programs are you supposed to take just to even switch to a career, path in project management? Like you get what I mean? Like that kind of thing. What is the way to go in terms of education, in terms of gaining the requisite skills? And I think I had a conversation with someone in this province back then, New Brunswick, and when I spoke to him about project management, he said something about IT. Is project management entirely IT, or what are the branches under project management? How does it work? I just wanted like some enlightening on this.
Okay, great question.
Thank you very much.
I'll answer the last one first. Is project management just IT? No. Project management could be construction. Project management could be finance. There are projects that run in different industries. So it's not just IT. So I guess that's the first question. You got to find out, do I actually want to do project management generally, or do I want to do project management in IT? Or do I want to do do I want to do a project management related role in biomedical? Those are all questions that you need to think about and answer. To your first point, your first note that you asked about, so you mentioned about don't be trying to convert a weakness to a strength, right? Not that you can't, but it takes more time. How about you find your strength and work in line with your strength, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, my strength is not looking at spreadsheets and looking at numbers. Yeah. My strength is in communication. My strength is in logical thinking. My strength is in collaboration, for example, right?
Yeah.
My strength is in driving impact by helping people see, things a certain way towards it, by negotiating people's minds to a certain thought process. Those are my strengths. Yeah. So when I wasn't working in line with my strengths, I wasn't in my bag. I was even getting fired left, right, and center. Let me be honest with you people. Let me tell you now. Safe space, right? Yeah. I wasn't working, and I knew, mind you, I had a master, I had a bachelor's in banking and finance. I had a master degree. You understand? Masters in accounting and finance. So it wasn't as if I didn't know accounting, right? Yeah. Like, my master's, I finished the total something of 84% or something like that. So I was pretty good.
Good, yeah.
I hated the job. I was miserable. Do you know what I'm saying? I was miserable.
Yeah.
So everything to me was just like, is this a matrix? Is this a movie? Right? The moment I stepped into a role that allowed my personality to shine, things came to me naturally rather than a chore. And so I know Sister Sharon asked the question at the beginning about, where do I even go to, right?
Yeah.
And this is not really the deep dive session for that, but the first note I'll just highlight there is you have to do that internal self-check. Okay, what is my personality? What kind of person am I? Do I like to interface with people? Do I not like to interface with people? And paint yourself a random, but paint yourself a dream of, that's what I did. I painted myself a dream of the kind of role I would like, right?
Okay.
That was the very first task I did during my master's. And some of the things that came to my mind was like, I would love to do presentations. I like to do things like this, right? These are some of the things that I did back in the day. So I recommend it. Do that exercise and see if it resonates with you, right? Before I'll give you like other strategies, we can discuss later on. Now, in terms of how to get into project management specifically, which is the crux of your question, there are two things that you have to think about. There's the knowledge that has to be gained, and there's knowledge so that you can do the job, but you also need certain things to help you remain marketable, right? That's where certifications come in. But if you do certification and you don't have the knowledge, you're going to end up in McDonald's. Sorry. You get my point. It's not going to work. You can get certifications, but they throw you in front of an interview. Oh, yeah, now, defend this thing that you said is in your resume. If you don't have knowledge, you're going to flop. Ain't nobody going to hire you. You think $80,000, $100,000 is for free on the streets? No. It's really not. So you have to consider those two things, right? So in terms of knowledge, I typically recommend doing a boot camp because it's a boot camp, right? You really gain a lot during the boot camp. If it's a certification, then you can then start to discuss those after. You can start to think about, doing a CAPM initially, right?
Yeah.
Then it may be a PMP in the future, stuff like that, right? Because those depend on like hours, right? You have to work certain hours before you can get PMP. There are things like that, right? They have to consider. If you're going into more of an agile framework, there are courses in CSM, blah, 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 that you can also consider, right? But again, you can plan for that. Do you have any other questions, Papa K?
Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. I had a question, but I'll let other people go out. Yeah.
All right, no worries. I appreciate it. Hama, I'm gonna come to you in a second. I wanted Fidi to talk. Fidi, I've not heard your voice a lot, so that's why hence the preference. Hama, I'll come to you.
All right, thank you so much, Pelumi. I stepped out initially. I sent you a private message, but I'm back now.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Yeah, so I have this question that I've asked several times, but I haven't gotten any convincing response to that. In my situation, as like I mentioned earlier on, I'm aspiring to go into project management, and I have a career gap because I took a break to raise my child, and I'm coming back into the workforce. Now, I have done some jobs in Canada, some customer service jobs, and there's no correlation, between the project management and customer service roles. Because I know you mentioned somewhere along the line that if you are transitioning or you're changing careers, you have to find a balance or list on your resume or on your LinkedIn profile to say, okay, relate the project management things that you have done in your previous roles. And now for this customer service role, which I have done in Canada, I can't seem to find any piece to connect customer service and project management together. Now, would you suggest I entirely take that out of my resume when I'm applying to project management, project coordinator jobs, or just leave it and just include a few bullet points, in order not to lengthen the gap that I already have?
Great question. And I'm hoping that maybe this answer will be a bit more satisfactory for you. Ideally, you would want to work that with a career coach, ideally. because I understand that it could be a little bit difficult to craft that yourself, right? Shameless plug, I am a career coach. I do offer paid services for career coaching sessions. These are questions that I've answered multiple times. And so here's the answer on the other side. Couple of things. In TSR, you have done task management. At the crux of project management is task management. Do you understand? Projects are then just a bunch of tasks that need to be fulfilled, right? Within a certain time, project, a certain time, budget, and scope. So definitely there are ties that we can make in there. But again, I understand that it might be challenging doing it on your own. Hence why 100% recommend a career coach helping you to figure that out. But yes, there are absolutely ties you can make. However, it's a little bit deeper than that. There are a lot of things that, and hence why I would recommend a career coach. There are other things that you need to factor into. Number one, other things like if it's a case of where you don't have any Canadian experience. If you live in Canada, you know they go on about Canadian experience. If you don't have any Canadian experience, right? I would definitely recommend like we tweaking that to beef that up, just because they pride about the Canadian experiences. Also, if you, however, you have enough Canadian experience in other type of roles, and we assess and feel like, okay, those are probably enough and you don't need this, we can then decide to park that experience entirely if you don't feel comfortable with defending it, right? Now, the next question somebody might ask is, oh, how about when they call for reference check and stuff like that? Fantastic question. So a couple of things, right? Typically when they call for reference checks, they don't go into details about what roles did this person do. Typically not. I've seen some do it, but typically not. So typically if you have sold enough value during the interview, that is not a deal breaker for you getting that role. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But typically, from reference checks, my wife is not here. If she was here, she would tell you, I'm a notorious reference checker for people. They call me. It's okay, call. I answer them. Do you get? And so I know they don't necessarily go into details. They ask about the qualities of the person, not, oh, tell me about some of the projects that the person did. Oh, tell me, do you get what I'm saying? Also, number 3, approach it that way first. See the opportunities that come out and deal with the reference check issue after the fact. What you want is, first of all, increase your funnel of opportunities. Maybe it's even somebody that has an opportunities that is thinking about reference check. So let's think about that. Let's draw that funnel first before worrying about the full-on reference.
All right.
Answer the question.
Yes, thank you.
Was that a little bit better than other answers you've gotten in the past?
To a large extent, yes.
That's fantastic. I've done a good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions, Vidi?
None for now.
All right, amazing. Hanma. And then after Hanma, Mary. And then after that, I think we'll call it quits. Except anybody else raises hands, of course.
Hi, Polumi. Thank you for an amazing session. I just had one question on content creation. So for myself, I know I haven't really been active in terms of my own content being publicized on LinkedIn. It's more like maybe reposting without even adding in like any 2 cents. And so I'm trying to make conscious effort to do so, more on the stance of value creation. So personally, although I'm working in finance, I'm trying to transition into consulting. But at the same time, I think this year, the interest for content creation as it relates to LinkedIn, it came from what I currently do, running a social enterprise on career development. And so I've been thinking of leveraging some of those workshops that we do to just like summarize the key learning areas in those workshops and just make it more public. It's more like accessible information that people can also use in their own careers as well. And I've been thinking of doing so. I know it's a strong stand. It's a strong stance to take, but at the same time, does that conflict with my career aspirations, or because I'm not posting consulting related content? So would you still advise that I go ahead posting things related to career development, or it solely has to be on my professional field and making myself more of a subject matter expert?
It can be mixed. It doesn't have to be one way. Absolutely can be mixed, right? So feel free. Absolutely. If it's a service you render, I would imagine that's something that you want to even blow up more than what it is today, correct? Right? So
Yes.
that is leverage that 100%. It doesn't have to be just career. Obviously, try to mix, right? Like as you can see, right, in my own profile, I have a mixture, right? I have a mixture. So as you can see, I'm a career coach. So I don't post all products related. I post things that have to do with coaching. You see things product related. You see things that has to do with like coaching. You see, like, for example, this session, I put it out on LinkedIn, right? I'm looking for conversion. Again, it's my personal profile. I'm marketing myself. Again, mind you, those things interests employers as well. Do you get? Because now they see, okay, Honma is a really career guy. So remember, they run other internal things. Maybe you can be a mentor for somebody within the organization in the future. You know what I'm saying? Those are added qualities that beefs up how you are perceived within the industry.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mary.
Hi, Pelumi. Thank you so much for this session. It's been very insightful. It's I wanted to ask, based on what you have taught now today, I had, so where I work now, I work in a major entertainment industry as a customer service advisor part-time, because that was only what could get my 20-hour work week. Now, the beautiful thing of it is I've been able to use my transferable skills from business analysis to actually crush it on the road. So I'm always exceeding targets, like always. We have a sales through service target of 5%. I'm always doing 20% week on week.
Nice.
Right. I'm not putting that on my LinkedIn because is it wise to put it? Because if I put it on my LinkedIn, when recruiters see, they see customer service and it just switches them off. That's why I did not even just bother putting it at all or on my CV at all. Then the second question I have is, I had an interview within, because I applied for a BA role within. I missed out on the opportunity of applying for the BA, and I applied for the associate BA. But when I got to the first stage interview, they're like, oh no, you're more experienced. We want to push you over to the mid-level BA role, which would sit better with my experience. Now, the hiring manager for that role had spoken with the hiring manager for the mid-level BA role. Do I still need to reach out to the hiring manager for that role? That's for the one that they've pushed me onto.
So I guess I'll answer the first question first. So should you add those accomplishments in your LinkedIn? If you add it as I exceeded sales targets, please don't do that, right? Because again, it's not portraying you as
a BA, yeah.
And if that's what you're trying to get into, it's not valuable. You can look for ways, however, to coin it. Hence, again, why maybe you need a career coach, right? I'm not here to go to market myself, right? But like, these are things that I do for people. But there are ways that you might be able to coin it to fit into the narrative of business analysis a little bit more, but don't put it like that.
So I personally do process improvement for customers, because I break down.
You can say you implemented processes, right, to increase sales revenue by X%. If the targets to beat targets, to you raise the target by 80%, I don't know, something like that, right? There are ways that we can coin that to make it make sense. Why really what you're saying is that I sell something and I'm 20% whatever, right? But like you put it in a different light that portrays, that fits the narrative a little bit better. Second question, again, remember, marketing. So always think that way, marketing. If you put it as you initially described it, does it market you to this role? No, then don't put. You get what I'm saying? Then how you can ask question, okay, how do I put it in a way that markets me to this role? Then that's where your answer is, right? Your second question, before we go to Onyi, is should you reach out to the hiring manager? I would say ask the first hiring manager, right? If that's what's expected, or please can you provide guidance on next steps, right? That's what I would do. But actually, when I think about it again, it doesn't hurt to reach out to the other hiring manager, right? That hey, you were told about this opportunity here, blah 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 blah. If your profile interests them, you're looking forward to having a chat with them, blah blah blah, blah something like that. That also, I don't see any risks. Again, it's internal, so I don't see any risks.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, Mary?
None for now.
All right, thanks. Onyi.
Hi, Valerie, thank you so much. This was so much clarity because I wasn't understanding some of my roadblocks. So my question is, coming from an insurance background, wanting to go into project management, but wanting to niche in the industry in which I would like a more creative field. So on the side, I also do makeup, for example. So for example, if I was to work with in an industry like that, like if I was to work with a brand like Sephora, or in a creative capacity with project management, I'm wondering how I can niche my LinkedIn to appeal for those kind of jobs, but I don't want to eliminate other opportunities from other industries. So it's not like I'm too niched, but I don't know.
Great question. I think for you, again, very, very valid. For you, I think you have to, the way you have to go about this is, the way I recommend going about this is prioritizing, right? Prioritize first. What do I want to do? Do I want to break in or do I want to niche? I would imagine that you want to break in. And if yes, leverage what you have first, right? You have insurance knowledge, you have insurance subject matter expertise. How can I leverage that into project management and insurance technology, right? There's a bunch of plethora of opportunities within that space, right? See how you can plug yourself in there. And then I feel like from there, it becomes a little bit easier to navigate your way into like product management in beauty, for example. That's number one. However, number two is another way to do this is follow those brands. Follow those kind of brands that you love to work with, right? Follow those brands, follow their employees, right? Network with them. Again, try to schedule, see if you can get 15 minutes to chat with them. You're going to need to be like super aggressive about your networking strategies to understand how they broke it, to understand their stories, right? Those are some things that can give you pointers, right? In addition, when those people post, when those companies post, you can add your 2 cents. Here's how we do this separately. Here's how we do this differently. Think through it. Be confident to post it, right? And it's okay, right? Vet it with your husband. Again, smart guy. He works in the industry already, so you can vet it with him as well, right? And posts, and that's that way. Those people that you've started following, and those companies started following, they start noticing, somebody is saying something here. Somebody is tag them. Hashtag them. Nobody's gonna catch you for. Nobody's gonna put you in jail for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do strategies like that while you're networking aggressively with those people as well to get you a bit closer to that industry. You get what I'm saying? While you're still trying to just break in general. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. Again, I really, really appreciate you guys coming out here to listen to me. I do not take it for granted. I'm glad that, general consensus is that this was an insightful and informative session. A couple of things. Once the session ends, you will probably get a survey please fill it out for me, please, pretty please. We'd really appreciate it. It's just a survey to gauge how you guys like the session. And then so what I'm gonna be doing, and although I was instructed to do otherwise, what I'm gonna be doing is I will be offering, like I said, I am a career coach, I'm a career mentor. I'm gonna be offering to everybody here who joined today's session, I'm going to be offering a 30 minutes consultation with myself. So I will send you each an email about this on what to expect. Just a 30 minute session each to like ask any questions that you might have. Is going to be free. Any sessions, if you find it valuable and you want other sessions after that, feel free to, definitely we can then schedule something that is more paid and whatever. All right. But again, really, 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 really appreciate the time for you guys reaching out, and thank you. God bless.
Sorry, but just one more thing.
Yes, please.
I know you shared that you would also be giving us like a template on how to network for like coffee chats and things like that.
Yeah. I'll send those out as well. So
Okay.
like everybody's emails. So like my plan, what I'm working towards, hopefully, is I can have like some sort of a newsletter where I can send you guys like tips, and you guys can share with your network, blah blah blah. Ask people to subscribe and then get more tips and tricks and stuff like that to help you guys essentially thrive in your careers as just sort of free game from me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Special shout out to Rose. Rose, for people who don't know, she essentially edits my social media videos. Again, she has volunteered to join and help me, assist me in moderating the session. Again, just wanted to shout out to you, Rose. Really, really appreciate it. Can you guys do me one favor, one last favor? I beg. Can you guys, for literally 10 seconds, turn on your cameras? I'd just like to capture a little bit of a video for myself. For me, this is a super it's the first time I'm doing something like this by myself. So again, means a ton to me. I feel like I've sown a seed here, and I'm glad that you guys definitely found it valuable. Would you guys mind if you can turn on just the cameras just to do a quickie? I would appreciate it. Thank you. I would do my thingy. And I apologize, I probably should have told you guys from the onset. But yeah, I definitely slacked on that one. Sorry, let me stop. Just give me a second. Let me stop sharing my screen. And then you guys are amazing. Really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so we're on the count of 3, we're just gonna say cheers, and I don't know, we're just gonna give a thumbs up, okay? All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, I appreciate it, big time. Thank you, guys. I know it's a little bit corny.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's all right.
All right, cheers. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Show.
All right, bye. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Pelumi.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Thanks. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks.
Pelumi, I've sent you LinkedIn requests, so
All right, I would accept it, Mary. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.